Is it customary that this application, an earpiece does not work with it?
No, no, you can use an earpiece. That will be fine.
Yeah, it's not working. That's why I'm wondering whether I hope it's not a problem. Okay, let me see whether.
Right. Okay.
No, it's not working. Yes.
It's not working. So
I hope
maybe
Nima didn't pull something up there when he's doing something for me. Just maybe. Just maybe. Okay?
right. Okay, so our brother is working on his here listening device. This StreamYard is not the best, to tell you guys the truth. I prefer the Zoom better, but the benefit of this is that it's able to broadcast both on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So we wait for him to get his earpiece going, because I know it's difficult to try to use the speaker and all. All right, I hope everybody can hear me. Okay, sisters, are you able to hear me? Yeah. Viewers, can you hear us? Yes. Okay. If you can't, let us know, um, and then we'll wait for him to
I'm
come.
really still looking for us on Facebook. Are we there? So
Yeah,
Augusta,
yeah,
are we
yeah,
on
yeah.
Facebook?
Let me send it to you.
Yeah, we're already.
We are. I'm looking at it.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So see, I just sent it. You should be able to see it now.
All
It's
right.
there.
Thank you.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Good morning, Dr. Posi. Dr. Posi is live. Thank you, Isochi, for Biafra. They are all watching. All right. It's working now, Posu?
Yeah,
Awesome.
complete. Thank
All
you.
right. Awesome. Anyway, God is in control this morning. So thank you, our people, for joining us once again.
All right.
My name is Monachim Saga. And guys, if you're not talking, just mute your phone. It helps to diminish the background noise a bit. All right. So my name is Monachim Saga, and I'm here in Houston, Texas. And I have my beautiful sisters here with me. Let me have them introduce themselves as usual. Sisters, please.
Good morning. My name is Augusta Anosika. I'm here in Richmond, Texas, and I am so glad to be back. We've had a lot in the past, and I am so glad. They never wanted to play a fast one, but God is always on the throne. So I am so glad to be back. Thank you all for joining us this morning.
Welcome, Sister Augusta. Thank you, viewers. My name is Dr. Ekwe Simon Okube, and we're here once again. We're happy we're here with you. Thank you for being here. So let's give us food for thought as we start. Self-determination is not a one action event. Rather, like solving problems in mathematics, it involves series of time-bound actions to be carried out by clear-minded, cool-headed, well-informed, intelligent indigents. You see, I chose my words for a reason. You have to be clear-minded. This is why we invite you here every Saturday to be part of the ongoing national discussion and enlightenment, which will continue by the grace of God until we get our people home safe and healthy. Of course, they cost money. So it's not meant for jobless people who stay online babbling. This is why, as much as possible, we encourage you to get gainfully employed. So you don't, like a criminal, get impatient and start shooting everybody. One thing we promise you, though, is that as these positive actions are being taken, and as we gain back our lands taken by the enemy, our lives will keep improving. Having said that, my people, we say, welcome to this ride to freedom and independence. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Ekwe. Thank you. We are going home. That is the word of the day for us every day. We are going home. God in heaven said so, and no man, no gate of hell will prevent it. So, as our topic says, reversing the tide
Amen.
of wickedness, reversing the tide of wickedness. We know how much wickedness that we have experienced in the land. We know how much wickedness that have experienced in our personal lives. We know how many wickedness that have actually overrun our lives right now, which we are struggling to regain. So our brother is here. We're going to properly introduce him for him to begin to give us some insight on how we can roll back to where we're supposed to be in the first place. So, as our topic says, righteousness exalts a nation, but wickedness
Correct.
is a reproach to any people. The quote is a standard composed of two alternatives with no middle ground. It has causes and two effects. Of course, the choice is yours. About 7 years ago, there was a voice of one crying in the wilderness, calling Nigerians to repentance. Yes, we all know him. You've heard him warn Nigerian Christians of impending doom. That voice is the voice of our brother, Bosu Emmanuel. He's our special guest today. Bosu Emmanuel is a pastor and currently the CEO and Executive Secretary of Christian Social Movement of Nigeria, as well as the CEO of Flame Faithful Trust Fund. He also serves as the Secretary of the National Christian Elders Forum. He was a member of the 2014 National Conference as a delegate of the Christian Association of Nigeria for the Southwest Zone. He has served in the church as a pastor, Bible college coordinator, lecturer, church planter, and missionary. Pastor Bosu is coming to do what we know him to do best, which is to preach and plant the seed of righteousness, preach liberty to the captives, and deliverance to those who are bound by religious sentiment. Furthermore, he is a 1983 graduate of mass communication from University of Lagos. We will be welcoming him and discussing the following. What really happened to the Church of Nigeria? Was she sabotaged, intentionally weakened, or defeated? In the midst of enormous wealth and resources, why is the Church of Nigeria so ineffective in the face of terror against her members? What will it take to get the church back to her feet? Our brother has done enormous work, so put on your seatbelt. We're going to run some promo of the work that he's doing, and then we'll have him properly introduce himself. So give me a minute, let me pull up that video. Hopefully these smart people won't try to play ad because I put it up before.
Interesting.
My name is Bosu Emmanuel. I commiserate with Nigerian Christians over all the evils that have befallen us and our country in the past few years. The current distresses were avoidable if only godly counsel was accepted when they were proposed a few years ago. Even then, it is still not too late to apply measures that will mitigate the impact and the consequences of all that have been unleashed against us and against our country. The priority step for us right now is to succor persecuted Christians. We need to join hands to take relief and help to our brethren who are languishing in various IDP camps all over the country. There are thousands upon thousands of Christians that have been displaced from their homes, traumatized and in great distress. It is our responsibility as Christians to succor them and to help them. Jesus Christ says, "By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one towards another." Join us to raise funds that will be well managed, accounted for, and used to help our persecuted brethren. There are children on the IDP camps that have not been to school in over 4 years. There are widows that need to be taken care of. There are those who have been maimed and mutilated. Various cases of humanitarian disasters that require urgent help. We have relaunched the Christian Trust Fund that was approved by the National Executive Committee of CAN in 2014 during the tenure of His Eminence Pastor Ayo Orisejafo. Christian Social Movement of Nigeria has relaunched the trust fund, and it is now called Lay Faithful Trust Fund. Under this program, every Nigerian Christian is required to contribute 500 naira every month into a central Christian purse. The money could be less, the contribution could be more. The average is 500 naira. 500 naira a month will not affect your commitment to your local church, neither will it affect your contributions to your denominations. If all of us join hands together to contribute 500 naira in a month, we will be able to have sizable amount of money to take relief to persecuted Christians, to help them to rebuild their lives, as well as put in place non-violent structures to defend and protect Christianity in Nigeria. Christianity must not end with us. We shall not be the last Christians in this country. We appeal to you, therefore, to pass this message across to other Christians. Announce it in all the churches that Nigerian Christians, both at home and in the diaspora, we are raising funds to defend, to protect Christianity as well as our vulnerable brethren in the IDP camps. The account number is Christian Social Movement of Nigeria, Zenith Bank, 1014138350. The fund is going to be managed by a board of trustees made up of reputable and competent Christian technocrats. Transparency and accountability is guaranteed. Be assured that your contribution shall be well managed, but we need you to begin to contribute and to support us now. We are in this together. All of us are affected. The Bible says, if one suffers, then all the members will all suffer together. Join us to defend our faith in Christ Jesus. I stand with Christ. We stand with Christ. For more information, please visit csmnigeria.org. And if you require additional clarification, you can send an email to admin@csmnigeria.org. Thank you. God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor. So we'll just have you formally introduce yourself by yourself. I know you already you already did that on the video, but if you kind of like give us a few more pointers.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and thank you for showing that short video. It does summarize what is our current burden now. As mentioned, the Secretary of the National Christian Elders Forum, the CEO of Christian Social Movement of Nigeria, as well as at the same time CEO of Lay Faithful Trust Fund. There are other Christian organizations that I also head and I'm involved with, but it may not be necessary to go into all that now. Suffice to say that the assignment that the Lord has given me for now is to advocate for Christianity in Nigeria. And the Lord gave us the ability to be able to foresee what is going on. There is nothing taking place now that we did not foresee. It didn't catch us by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And there is nothing going on now that the Lord did not provide a solution for. As of July 2015, which is about roughly 6 years ago, every solution that we needed to stop what you see in Nigeria today was ready, everything was in place. God did not forsake us. God did everything possible to prevent whatever you see in Nigeria today. We were betrayed. And that's why I will keep insisting that Fulani is not our problem. Buhari is not our problem. We are a problem to ourselves. It's like God says to the children of Israel, you stiff-necked people. You are so stubborn. You won't even listen. But I said before you life and death. Choose life. And the people they chose death. It was a matter of their choice. So in a nutshell, because I'm supposed to introduce myself, not to start talking about what I do. So that is who I am. Bosun Emmanuel, a pastor, but the ministry now is that of advocating for Christianity in Nigeria. How do we get the church delivered from this mess? Because let me tell you, we're at a very delicate point. If we don't get it right, whatever we see now is child's play compared with what is still ahead. If we don't get it right, and we better get it right. We've come to the conclusion that the group we need to engage now, and that's why I'm very happy to be in this conversation this afternoon. The group we need to engage now is the laity in the church members, the Christian professionals, the Christian doctor, the Christian lawyer, the Christian engineer, even the Christian market woman. That's the group that we need to engage. They are the ones who are going to solve this problem for us. The church leaders are gone, except God raises new set of leadership for us. If anybody is looking for solution from the leadership of Nigerian church, look, all of us, we are gone. Let me stop there. Sorry.
No, you did well. Thank you.
I will take more questions.
Thank you. Yeah. So, by the way, these videos are all online on YouTube. If you want to get more information, like we said, put on your seatbelt. You are about to hear things that will blow your mind. But again, the purpose of this, like our brother said in the one of the audio message that he said he's not saying this to scare you. He's not saying this to bring fear. He's saying this for you to be aware of what's going on, so you can begin to understand how to defend yourself. So, I'm going to play the next video. All these things is in is a prelude to what we are going today.
Christianity in Nigeria is facing an existential crisis that demands a
Are you sure you can finish
of
this?
the policies
If you can
of
hear me.
church. When situations like the one confronting Nigerian Christians occur in any community, The prudent step is to review the source of the confusion and defeat. Based on knowledge and truth, men of noble birth will propose and implement remedial measures. The crisis facing Christians in Nigeria should not have gotten to this terrible state, but for a fundamental error by some prominent Christians in applying the wrong therapy to a serious disease. When it was clear that the church was drifting off course, God raised a group of Christian elders to warn Christians, particularly the leadership of the church. The elders advised the Christian leaders to be circumspect and handle the affairs of Christianity with truth. Unfortunately, that godly counsel was ignored. To worsen matters, some undiscerning people in the church arose, campaigning that Christians should love one another as solution to terrible misconduct in the Christian fold. Most of us fail to realize that while love is the nature of God and it is a Christian virtue, love does not set free from bondage. Only the truth sets free. Love will satisfy you at its own expense, show you compassion and even empathy, but it will not set you free. Love will visit you in prison and sit with you in the dungeon, but it will not set you free. Only the truth sets free. Instead of applying truth to critical problems in the church, the Christian leadership applied love. Until the Nigerian church returns to the truth, it will neither solve the problems of Christians nor provide help for Nigeria to chart a course of safety out of its present storm. Only the truth sets free. Whether it is an individual, a family, a church, or a nation, the only solution to any problem is the truth. Only the truth sets free. I repeat that. If someone lies to himself or listens to people who lie to him, he will continue to suffer. The day he is tired of suffering, he will go to the truth.
All right. Only the truth shall set us free, and the truth we must hear today. So get ready. Yeah, Pastor Boss, I can't really see. So when I put the video and I put it in the full screen, it knocks everything out. So I can't I can't see what you guys are doing in the background. Where you needed my assistance?
No, I was just mentioning that the video is long, it's 37 minutes. So I was making a sign that you have to play a short
Yes,
section of it.
yes,
So I
yes.
didn't know you already had that planned. Okay,
We know.
okay.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Because I was looking at my monitoring screen, I was seeing you going like this. I'm like, what is he doing?
Yes, I was doing my hand like this, that you have to cut it short,
Yeah, we know.
that the
Okay,
video
now
is long.
of course it makes sense. All right, thank you
And
so
it's on
much.
our wall. Sister Mona is on our wall for people to go and finish
Oh,
up.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
all right. Thank you.
All right, Sister Augusta, go ahead.
No, you're supposed to go on with the second question. Ask him the question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be. Go ahead now. Right.
Sister Augusta, take the second question. You can go. You can take it.
I'm taking okay. Thank you, Pastor Bosu, for being here. We are so elated. We can't even hide our feelings. It's so obvious that some people are real anointed men of God, and you are one of them. Now, let me go to the question. Looking at the church in Nigeria, like the problem of Nigeria, our problem also seems to be foundational. We've talked about this. Just like the foreign bags and the shoes appear superior to locally produced shoes and bags, there seemed to be a big divide between churches that were imported from England, Rome, Germany, US, Wales, everywhere. Locally produced indigenous African churches. One would think that church leaders would close this rank Instead, they have helped in dividing us even further, to the extent that our enemies are very aware of our disunity. Why is it difficult for Nigerian Christians to regard themselves as one, irrespective of their denominations? Go ahead, Pastor.
Thank you. Once again, thank you, brethren, all those that I see and all those that I do not see. Thank you very much for the privilege to have this conversation and fellowship with you. It's afternoon in Nigeria. It's going to 5 p.m. now in Nigeria, in Lagos, where I am. The question that you have asked is foundational. And if we get the answer to this question, we shall begin to solve our problems. I will take us back to how Christianity entered Nigeria. The early missionaries, when they came, no doubt they were good Christians, they were God-loving, they were sacrificial, they did fantastic job, but they did not bring church to Nigeria. They did not bring church. They did not bring the body of Christ, which is one. They brought denominations. And mathematicians will tell you that denominator is a divider. They brought denominations. Denomination simply means divisions in the church. Does not symbolize unity at all. Now, the Anglicans were reporting to England. The Catholics, they were reporting to Italy, Rome. The Baptists, they were reporting to America. The Lutheran, they were reporting to Germany. And on like that. So under such a situation, the atmosphere of competition grew amongst brethren because each person has to report to a different master. And each person will receive a different instruction from a different master. And each church will receive different goals, different objectives from different masters. So the churches were competing with each other. When independence came and the colonialists left, the indigenous church leaders, Nigerians, who took over the leadership of Christianity in Nigeria, proceeded to build upon that faulty foundation. Now, at independence, all the churches should have come together and said, look, this is our country. Let's form a national Christian body and run a national Christian agenda. The Catholics had their own agenda. The Anglicans were running their own agenda. The Baptists were running their own agenda. And they built upon that faulty foundation. So the division was sustained. Along the way, God tried to step in and solve the problem. The Christians in the north, under the leadership of late Ambassador Jolly Yusuf Tanko, saw that the way the Sardauna was going, Sardauna had the plan of Islamizing the entire north and using the machinery of state to force everybody to become a Muslim. So Ambassador Jolly Tanko saw the need that we need to unite Christians if we are going to survive. So in 1965, they formed Northern Christian Association of Nigeria in 1965. Then they called the Christian leaders in the South to join them so it can become a national association. The church leaders in the South were having a nice time, so they didn't respond. The jihadists started building their structures little by little. Let me tell you a story so that we will have a proper perspective about how we got into this problem. I will come back to this issue of the church. Now, let me now share with us how Islam now came in, how Islamists now came in, not even Islam. Because we need to understand there is difference between Islam and Islamism. There's difference. There's difference between Islam. Islam is totally different from Islamism. Islam is religion. Islamism is not a religion. It is a political ideology that says wherever Islam is, Islam must dominate. If you look at the Nigerian setting, for example, in Yoruba land, which has a sizable number of of Muslim population, the Yoruba man treats Islam as a religion. That's why they are tolerant. His northern counterpart treats Islam as Islamism. That is why he's intolerant. The Yoruba man practices Islam as religion. The northern Nigerian practices Islam as a political ideology. Now, how did Islamism enter Nigeria? And Islamism, mind you, is the ideology driving Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, all the Islamic terrorists in the world. They are all Islamists. When Sardauna, that's the late Ahmadu Bello, was in power, instead of unifying Nigeria, the various ethnic groups in Nigeria, he embarked on what he called Islamic unification trips globally. And he was campaigning that the global Islamic Ummah should unite, that Islam should be one globally. His trip took him to various countries, to Senegal, to Dakar, and so on and so forth, to Gambia. For example, some of you may not know that Gambia, the leader of Gambia, came to Nigeria to study. His name was David Jawara. If you remember Dauda Jawara of Gambia, who ruled for a long time as if he would never leave the place before he died. David Jawara was converted to Islam by Sardauna, and he became Dauda Jawara. And then he returned to Gambia and turned Gambia into an Islamic country. Now, the Sardauna went as far as Saudi Arabia, and his efforts led to the first Islamic League conference in 1962. It was in the process of that Islamic unification that he got to Egypt. Now, I need to mention this. On that his trip, he was accompanied by Sheikh Abubakar Gumi, the father of the present-day Ahmad Gumi, who is now the negotiator with the bandits. Now, Sheikh Gumi was with him in all of the unification trips. When they got to Egypt, Gumi came across the handbook of Islamic Brotherhood, and he brought that handbook to Nigeria. Now, let me explain what the Islamic Brotherhood is. Because today, Islamic Brotherhood is the official body behind every Islamic activism, global jihad, terrorism. They are into education, they are into media, they are into politics. They've taken over Europe, and they are now set to take over United States of America. They are the ones behind Obama, and they are the ones behind your current president, Joseph Biden. Is all of them are working for the Islamic Brotherhood. Now, the Islamic Brotherhood came into existence in 1928. Before 1924, the global power, so to say, in the East was the Ottoman Caliphate, the Ottoman Empire. But a leader arose in Turkey who saw that Islam was not going to allow Turkey to develop. So this leader, Kemal, Mustafa Kemal, his title was Ataturk. Ataturk means the father of the Turks. So he was known as Ataturk Mustafa Kemal. In 1924, Kemal disbanded the Ottoman Caliphate, stopped men from wearing beard, stopped women from wearing hijab, and adopted Western civilization for Turkey so that Turkey can be civilized and develop. Some Islamic radicals felt that what Ataturk did was a betrayal of Islam. So in 1928, at a village called Ismaila in Egypt, a man named Hassan al-Banna, in company of some other radicals, started the Islamic Brotherhood. When the Islamic Brotherhood started, they have two goals. Two. Number one, to implement Sharia globally. Sharia. And number two, to revive the Islamic State known as the Caliphate. So that is where ISIS got its name from, Islamic State. And that's why the first leader of ISIS, I think it's Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, calls himself the Caliph. Now, the agenda of the Islamic Brotherhood is to have Sharia all over the world. And number two, to revive Islamic Caliphate. So those two agendas are running full steam in Nigeria. The handbook which they use, the Islamic Brotherhood, Gumi brought that handbook to Nigeria and started implementing.
Wow.
That was what led to the formation of Jama'atu Nasril Islamic Society. Jama'atu Nasril Islamic Society is called Society for the Victory of Islam. Victory of Islam against who? Who is the enemy that Islam is fighting, that Islam wants to have victory over in Nigeria? Now, in 1983, riding on Jama'atu Nasril Islamic Society, OIC had a conference in London. I mean, I spoke a little bit about that in the message that most people must have heard.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they want to turn Africa into an Islamic continent. And to be able to do that, 7 countries in Africa must primarily be Islamized. If those 7 countries are not Islamized, then their goal of having Africa as an Islamic continent cannot be realized. And the 7 countries are, number 1, Nigeria, Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, Malawi, Kenya, Congo, South Africa. Now, of these 7 countries, the one that is crucial, that they must get at all costs, that once they get that one, all the other ones will just fall like a pack of domino, is Nigeria. So OIC said Jama'atu Nasril Society does not have the capacity to do what they have in mind. So they set up another organization called Islam in Africa Organization. It was Islam in Africa Organization that conducted the conference in 1989 and issued the Abuja Declaration. And the Abuja Declaration in its communique said they want to eradicate in all its forms and ramifications Christianity and all non-Muslim countries in member nations. To eradicate in all its forms and ramifications. So whatever symbolizes or represents Christianity is meant to vanish in Nigeria. Now, all that had started work in the 1960s. Then it became the question of how do they overpower the Christians? Because they are too much. They are very educated, they are very intelligent, so they manipulated us into the civil war. Most Christians still do not understand what happened with the civil war, with the Biafra civil war. They thought it was Ojukwu fighting Nigeria. But the truth of the matter is that the civil war was Christian fighting Christian. It was Christian Ojukwu fighting Christian Gowon. And Christian Danjuma, Christian Joshua Dongoyaro, Christian Benjamin Adekunle Fajuyi, Christian Effiong, Christian Okoro, Christian Obasanjo, Christian Alabi Sama, with the Christian land as the battleground. So the Christians fought themselves, weakened themselves, killed over 1 million of themselves, and the Muslims sat back, they were watching. Do you hear any Muslim officer who distinguished himself during the civil war? No, it was the Yoruba soldiers, the Middle Belt Christian soldiers, the Igbo soldiers. So we fought ourselves, decimated ourselves, weakened ourselves, and then at the end of it, Gowon came and said, no victor, no vanquished. No, somebody was vanquished. It was the Christians. By 1975, the jihad started. Murtala Mohammed took over power. It is jihad. And it was enabled by Christian Joseph Gaba. So a lot of manipulations had gone on. Christians were oblivious. They were thinking of building a nation. Some people were interested in implementing Sharia. That's why, if you look back, that when Murtala became the head of state in 1975, the first thing that Murtala Mohammed did was to conduct the purge in the civil service. And in that purge, close to 10,000 career civil servants were dismissed. They were Christians. When there was a backlash and there was an uproar, he set up a commission of inquiry into what he did. That they should find out the impact of the purge. The head of that commission was Monsignor Pedro Martins, the Catholic chaplain of the army. Monsignor Martins. Monsignor Pedro Martins died at the age of 104. He died a few years ago. Monsignor Martins investigated and produced a report that 98% of those who were dismissed under the purge did nothing wrong to warrant dismissal. Murtala dismissed him, he fired him immediately for producing such a report. He was dismissed from the army immediately. Now, with that purge was the gateway to two factors that are troubling Nigeria till today. Two factors: corruption, mediocrity. It was that purge, corruption and mediocrity. How did it come in? In those days, the civil servant in Nigeria was a professional bureaucrat. He did his work professionally. He would not take a bribe. He would not steal. He would not lie. He lived in government quarters. When he's at a top level, he uses government vehicle. When he retires, he collects his gratuity and he goes back to his village. That was the civil service. When Murtala Muhammad did the purge as jihad, the civil servant, the professional civil servant, was driven out of his official quarters. His official vehicle was taken away. He suddenly found himself without money, without house, without car, without status. Many of them died. From that moment, the civil servants developed the habit. You better start saving for the rainy day. That was how corruption started. Now, nobody can control it. Then mediocrity. To fill the space of those professional civil servants, Murtala Muhammad now went to the north and brought northern workers of native authorities, people who can barely read and write, to fill the position of the civil servants. So you now have a permanent secretary who cannot construct a simple sentence in English, does not understand anything about policy formation. But Murtala put all of them in the civil service, that they are Nigerians. They are the ones. That's why everything was dive. And from that day till now, Nigeria has not recovered from mediocrity. You see, these people have been dealing with this country for years. But the Christians were thinking of, we build a country. It's only Christians who talk about national interest. They only talk of northern interest. Now, back to the issue of the church. When the late Ambassador Jolly Yusuf Tanko saw what was going on, said the church has to unite. So the Northern Christians quickly formed Northern Christian Association. The Christians in the South did nothing until 1976, August 1976, when Obasanjo, as the then military head of state, wanted to introduce the recitation of the pledge. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength. And since most of the schools were mission schools, so they call the leaders of religions, Christians and Muslims, to Dodam Barracks. Then the capital was Lagos and the seat of power was Dodam Barracks for a meeting. When the religious leaders arrived, Obasanjo delegated Shehu Yaradua, the senior, to conduct the meeting because he was chief of staff, supreme headquarters. When the meeting was about to start, Yaradua called a Muslim cleric to say the opening prayer. When the meeting ended, Yaradua called another Muslim cleric to say the closing prayer. Then the Christians kicked. They said, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. A Muslim cannot start the prayer and another Muslim end the prayer. Yaradua answered. He said, I don't know which one of you I will call, and you will not quarrel amongst yourself. At that point, the Christian leaders looked at each other and said, what? We are so divided that even the unbelievers know. So they said, after this meeting, nobody goes home. Nobody. Where is the nearest Christian installation in this area? The nearest Christian installation was the Catholic Secretariat at Racecourse. So everybody to Racecourse, to Catholic Secretariat, we are going to have a meeting. And on that day, Christian Association of Nigeria was born. Christian Association of Nigeria was born by force, not because they wanted to. Even after they formed Christian Association of Nigeria, with the motto that they all may be one, John chapter 17, verse 21. 40, it will be almost 47 years now. 46 or 47 years that CAN was formed. Nigerian church is still searching for unity. Why? That is where I'm going to where our current problem now is. You see, we have the issue of a faulty foundation, okay? Coming from the missionaries, the colonialists. Then we have the problem of the seed of discord deliberately being sown by the Islamists who were executing a global agenda. They were not even executing a national Islamic agenda. It was, and it still is, a global Islamic agenda. So whatever is going on in Nigeria is connected with whatever is going on in Pakistan, is connected with whatever is going on in Kenya, it's connected with whatever Islam is doing in UK, what Islam is doing in America. That's why Obama did everything possible to discredit Goodluck Jonathan and bring Buhari in, because it's a global Islamic agenda, and Nigeria is caught right in the midst of it. And most Christians are absolutely, up till now, are unaware of what is going on.
Clueless, totally clueless.
And you try to explain and explain and explain, and they will be blowing grammar, they will be arguing with you. When God saw that unity was not being built, God poured forth into Nigeria a new wave of the Holy Spirit, and a revival broke out in the 70s. From the 70s to the 80s, God started raising indigenous Christian leaders, anointed them powerfully, empowered them, and gave them unprecedented influence. When we were growing up in Nigeria, the pastor was one of the poorest in the society. As a matter of fact, if you wanted to describe a state of extreme poverty, you would say the person is as poor as a church rat. Now, the church rat is no longer poor, he's stinking rich. God raised a group of new Christian leaders, and most of them were Pentecostal. And God started drawing people from the existing churches. That's why you will notice that most of the Pentecostals, the average Pentecostal church, if you ask them to mention, for their members to mention where they are coming from, you will discover many of them are from Catholic Church. Some are from Anglican, from Methodist, from Presbyterian, from Cherubim and Seraphim, from Celestial Church of Christ. God took them from the various churches, and then God took them from various tribes. The average Pentecostal church is like miniature Nigeria, from different spiritual background, and then from various zones in the country. The purpose of God is to use the church to build unity. Use the Pentecostal churches, first and foremost, to unite Christians, and then to unite Nigeria. It will have worked beautifully if not for greed. The Pentecostal pastors, many of them fell in love with the tithes and the offering. So they started erecting invisible barriers. So the moment it was the Pentecostals that started. Once they started erecting those invisible barriers, all the other churches too followed suit. Everybody now has, so almost each denomination now has an invisible denominational barrier in which the head of that particular denomination sits in the temple as God. So everything that is done now is to protect each church denomination. For the churches to now break out of that and come to forge a national Christian consensus, it is difficult. And of course, a house that is divided, it
Will
cannot
not
stand.
stand. Mm-hmm.
So the solution, if God is going to help us, if we really want God to come in and help us, we should ask God, Father, raise new leaders for us. And that's why I delivered that message, which you played a clip of it, the paradox of the mighty. The thrust of that message is our problem is leadership. We don't have a single Christian leader that all the Christians agree with. Even the president of CAN, he's not the leader. They just tolerate him. If he talks on his own. If whatever he says does not go with what, it doesn't matter to them. They will do what they want to do. During the last election, we saw something like that. Nearly all the denominations had their own presidential candidate that they were supporting. To try and get them to agree on a simple consensus candidate, most of them, they didn't agree. We had to call the presidential candidates themselves. And they were the ones who gave the mandate that we should endorse one of them. As we go along, maybe if the questions get to the point in which we will talk about politics and nation building, I will tell you that story. It's not a pleasant story to hear, but it has to be told. Yes. And that's why I said at the beginning, we were betrayed. Mm-hmm. We are not weak. Nigerian Christians are not weak. We are not weak. We are not powerless. We were betrayed. We need a leader. And we all need to agree that this is the leader. Once Christians agree and say this is the leader, whatever he says we are going to do, in less than 24 hours, this mess will stop.
Mind blowing.
Your next question, man.
Mind blowing. Thank you so much for that insight. I mean, this is awesome. Please, our viewers, we have to share this information. If you are sitting here watching us and you have not shared this video, you are one of the enemies, really, because we want to get our people out of this hellhole that they find themselves in. So you don't get to sit and watch it. Start sharing. If you can even text people and say, please log in, because sometimes when you try to tell these stories yourself, especially if you're like me, you will miss half of them, if not 75% of them. So please, we need people to log in so they can begin to hear by themselves exactly what was said and how it was said. Because we have to key into this. We need to end all of this madness this week. Like he said, if we do the right thing, all of this mess will stop. It doesn't take a rocket science to get this done. If we get what we need to get done today, all of this mess will end. So thank you. Please share. Sister Augusta, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was muted. Thank you, Pastor Bosu, for that insight. All what you said. It's so shocking that all these things were happening, and the attitude of Christians up to today still marvels me. I get so irritated mostly. Anyway, the after that video, the audio that you put out for everybody to listen to, people listened to that audio and they were shocked. They didn't understand the fact that Nigeria, that is supposed to be a secular country, ended up being a Muslim country. How Babangida paid $21 billion to OIC and all the rest. And how the Eastern Christians or pastors became mercantile Christianity that is being practiced in the Eastern region. So I just wanted to read one of the letters that you received from the Redeemed Christian Church of God, telling you to stop disseminating lies, even though they know that all what you said in that audio is the truth, the plain truth, and nothing but the truth. Let me go ahead and read it. It's a very short letter. I'll be very fast. The letter was written on the 3rd of October 2014 from the national chairman of was addressed to the national chairman of APC. So now let me read. There's a
No,
circulation of
that's okay. So from where? From which
for
church, please?
Redeemed Christian Church of God.
Okay, so we're talking about Pastor Adeboye, right?
Adeboye,
The
yes, yes.
GO, the
The GO, that's
Almighty
GO.
Pastor Adeboye. So this is
Yes,
how Christianity was sold. We want to
that's
hear it,
right.
Sister Augusta.
Yeah, that's right. That was how it was sold. Because after the circulation of that audio, Pastor Adeboye now wrote this letter. I
That
think
woke
Sister
up
now
all
put
the
it up.
Christians. The audio
That
that woke
was
up all the
exactly.
Christians.
Mm-hmm,
And the
mm-hmm.
Christians were ready to take action.
Action.
But somebody sold the Christians. Read, my
Ex-
sister, because we show evidence on this platform.
Exactly. So I'm going to read the letter. The letter was addressed to the APC, the national chairman of All People's Progressive Congress, APC, and it was written it's directly from the Daddy GO of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Now, circulation of very offensive, provocative CD. We greet you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ and bring you peace, joy, and gladness in the matchless name and grace. Thank you for your letter dated September 30th, 2014, sent to us by email. The General Overseer is surprised at some of the false allegations contained therein. The CD recording of one Reverend Bosun Emmanuel, which you referred to, and which has apparently been in the public domain for some time, was indeed brought to the attention of the body of Christ and the GO. For the avoidance of doubt, the General Overseer specifically asked the pastors to ignore and pay no attention to all the references to political parties, including the APC, in the compact disc. We are neutral and apolitical. We pray for all irrespective of political persuasion or creed. We are carriers of the good news of salvation of mankind.
Yeah.
And through our Lord Jesus Christ, we follow peace with all men. We did not endorse divisive comments in any form or shape. We have sons and daughters in all political parties. We agree with you that the allegations are wickedly false. That was quoted. It was quoted unquote.
Prophecy that God, Elohim, Eloha, Elohim, sent to the church to warn the church of impending doom. A so-called church leader said it was wickedly said. That means God is wicked for sending us to warn us. Read, my sister. Have you finished?
I never finish.
Finish the atrocity.
Wickedly false. unsubstantiated, ill-conceived, and in all probability being born out of mischief. Partisan politics is alien to us. We have asked anyone who might be in possession of the CD to return them. We have asked all pastors to bring the foregoing to the attention of their respective congregation immediately. In conclusion, we with the Jesus Christ, we so received all involved that one day we shall all give account of every idle word uttered before God. In the meantime, we assure you once again of our love and well wishes for your party and all parties, and pray that all things will work together for the good of our nation. This was signed by Pastor A.A. Olorunmimbe, Office of the General Overseer.
This is the day he himself will give account. Today, he will give account of those idle words today. That is today. Continue,
So,
Sister.
my question, in 2014, Pastor Bosun, you raised an alarm about APC's mission in Nigeria. The Christians were getting ready to collectively reject APC. But in one dramatic move, one commando move, we saw the clergy endorsing Buhari and APC. Today, many notable men have come out to apologize to the Nigerian people for selling them to terrorism and horror. But till today, our church leaders have refused to see any wrong in what they did and have refused to apologize and make amends. Now, my question, is this as a result of these leaders developing reprobate minds according to Romans chapter 1:28, or do you think they are all still redeemable? I don't even know if they
Sister
are redeemable.
Augusta, maybe you just combine the next question.
Oh, let
So
me
that
combine
we
the
wrap
two
them
questions.
together. Yes.
Exactly. My second question. Many people keep asking, what is wrong with black man? He thinks only of himself and his stomach rather than collective interest and common good. For instance, Obasanjo spent 8 years in office, Jonathan 6 years. Collectively, 14 years, these men that call themselves Christians had the opportunity to restructure this country or change the constitution. Even when in 1987, the news broke that terrorist international training camps were being set up in Kaduna, Zaria, and Jigawa, rather than set up a counter-terrorism system, Obasanjo accepted Sharia in 12 contiguous core northern states. On the other hand, Buhari, another black man within 4 years, has turned the entire Nigerian system in favor of his terrorist kingsmen. Please, can you help us unlock this puzzle? Could the problem be with the mercantile Christianity being preached today in our churches? All right, Pastor, go ahead.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Let me just state right from the onset that I think something is wrong with the black man. Something is wrong with the black man. He thinks mostly in a destructive manner. That's why it's as if it's the black man alone that the whole world takes to be a victim. The Europeans came, they victimized him. The Americans came, they victimized him. For over 900 years, the Arabs were treating Africa as a slaving field, as a slave hunting field. The Asians came, they victimized him. The Indians too come, they victimize him. Now the Chinese too are coming. How come it is something must be wrong with the black man? I wish we had time to talk about that because it's a question I've asked some of my brethren, and we've sat down to look at what exactly is wrong with us. Now let's go back to the 2014 message and what actually happened. Listening to that letter which you read again, Right from paragraph 1, that letter is telling lies. Right from paragraph 1, it started by telling lies.
Yes.
Lies that are very disturbing to be coming from a church. On May 11, 2014, I had the privilege of delivering a message at a parish of RCCG in Lekki. I came in from Abuja because it was during the national conference. I delivered the message, I left the church, I returned to Abuja. A sister in the church took the CD and took it home to her father. Her father was late General Emmanuel Abisoye. And she told her father that he should listen to this CD, that a man came to their church today to preach, and she wanted her father to listen to the message. I later got to meet General Abisoye. He's dead now. Very fine gentleman, very, very decent Christian. And General Abisoye told me himself that when he played the CD the first time, that he shook his head. Said, who is this one talking? What is this one talking about? Said he went to sleep. That what he had disturbed him so much, he just went to sleep. Said after he woke up, he now went back again to his CD player. I said, okay, that message. He said he played it 6 times. He told me, said, Pastor Bosun, I played it 6 times. It will finish, I will start again. It will finish, I will start again. At the end, after listening to it for 6 consecutive times, he said he told himself, how could he have been so fooled and taken for a ride? That he was a senior military officer. He was a member of the Supreme Council. That how could he have been so fooled like this that he didn't know what was going on in Nigeria? He called another elder. He said, listen to this message. That one too had it. That one said, what is this? So they arranged for a meeting in the house of a prominent member of Redeemed Christian Church of God. I will not mention the name of the elder, but a prominent, very prominent member. And they invited some other Christian elders there. And General Abisoye went with the CD and with his CD player. He said he played the message. He said, Pastor Bosun, when the message was going on, you could hear a pin drop. He said the moment they finished playing the message, the elder said, Pastor Adeboye must hear this one. That this CD must go to the general overseer of Redeem. So they took the message to him. He said when he had it, this is what I heard from General Abisoye, that when the general overseer of Redeemed Christian Church of God had it, he ordered for 250 copies of the message and said it should be given to leaders in Redeemed Christian Church of God, that they must hear this. During the August Ministers' Conference in 2014, remember I shared the message in May 11, 2014. By August, when RCCG had its national convention, the General Overseer spoke to all the ministers about the message and told them all of them should go and listen to it. But he now told them, he said, but they should put aside all the comments about politics, that they should realize that they are a church and the members are in various political parties. So, but apart from those comments about the political parties, that there is something there that they should hear. And that was how the message started going viral. That was how the message started going viral. So for that letter now, to now make those claims that it claimed is very disturbing. Very, very disturbing. When APC got the message, I also heard from another elder that the message was taken to them by a Christian pastor. A pastor took the message to them and told them to come and hear what they are saying about them, so that he used it to curry favor. APC was now alarmed because Buhari by then was pushing for a Muslim ticket. You see, if you go through the message again, you will discover I did not mention the name of Buhari once. I did not mention the name of Muhammadu Buhari because I delivered the message in May. APC held its convention that chose Buhari as their presidential candidate in June. It never occurred to me in my wildest imagination that Nigerians would be so daft and so stupid they would bring Buhari back. So as far as I was concerned, Buhari was no longer
valid
a factor. So I didn't mention him at all. So by the time Buhari came in as the APC presidential candidate, he was pushing for a Muslim ticket, wanted a Muslim vice president. This message has gone out. Obasanjo was one of the people who advised APC. I said, you better be careful. Muslim ticket will not fly again. The Christians are pushing another narrative now. So they went back to RCCG. Number one, to invalidate the message. Number two, to strike a deal. It was that deal that brought the Christian pastor as the vice president. So if it was not for that wake-up call, we will not have had a Christian as the vice president.
But Pastor Poso, the Christian pastor that we have as the vice president is mom. Is quiet.
No, he wasn't supposed to do anything. He wasn't supposed to do anything. He was simply he wasn't supposed to do anything. He was put there to silence Christians who are saying APC is an Islamic party. That's all. That's all. So the moment anybody now says, somebody said APC is an Islamic party, they say, how can APC be an Islamic party when the vice president is a pastor? That was his role. That was all he was meant to do. And he did it. Finish. That's all. He wasn't supposed to come and represent you or fight for you. So forget that one. Now, going to what now happened. That was in 2015. We could have attributed 2015 to an error of judgment. People could come out and say, well, it was an error of judgment. To err is human, to forgive is divine. There is nobody who does not make a mistake. Even Samuel, the great prophet, he too nearly poured oil on the head of Eliashib and on the head of Shammah. And if not that, God kept telling him, even the prophets too at times make mistakes. And if God does not stop him, then the prophet, okay. But how about in 2019? After Buhari has now shown his true character, how did he come back in 2019? Again, these same church leaders. We had succeeded in bringing Christian presidential candidates together. The meeting was held in my office. The meeting was held in my office. 30th November 2018. And we met 13 Christian presidential candidates. And they gave us the mandate, endorse one of us. All of us will support that one Christian presidential candidate. Our plan was to get a single Christian presidential candidate. Then Atiku and Buhari are both from the north. They will divide the votes of the north. We will unite all the votes of the south and that of the middle belt and give it to just one individual. There is no way they would have been able to rig that election because it would have been too glaring. It was our church leaders. In fact, we wrote a report on it, and the report is online. We placed the report online. Factors that led to I can't remember the exact title. If I remember it, I will type it and send it to you. I will even send the document to you anyway after this meeting. We wrote a report. The people who deliberately, it was done deliberately. Buhari was brought back deliberately by Christian leaders. Quote me. It was done by Christian leaders. Without Christian leaders, Buhari could never have been president in 2015, and he never could have returned in 2019. So when people are now declaring fasting and prayers that God should come and deliver us, do you know who God is? You think God is a fool? God warned you. You went, you did what you wanted to do. Then he told you don't do it again. You did it again. You are now fasting and asking God to come and fight. Which one concerns God? God has already spoken what he's going to do. I delivered the message at the beginning of this year. That's the second video that I sent to Dr. Ikwi. I sent a video to you that I sent to the church at the beginning of January 2021, 1st of January 2021. That what God is asking for now is repentance. And
Yes,
that repentance.
Sorry, Pastor. Viewers, that video is on our wall. The remnant, message to the remnants. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. All right. And that repentance has to start from the church leaders. Look, the prominent people who brought Buhari to office, who are not pastors, they've come out publicly, they have apologized. General Olusegun Obasanjo has come out, he has apologized for the role he played in bringing Buhari into power. Professor Wole Soyinka has come out publicly, he has apologized for the role that he played. Chief Dele Momodu has come out publicly and apologized in tears for the role that he played. No church leader has come out to apologize. No Christian leader has accepted responsibility for the role that he played. So we are having a problem of personal selfish interest. When leaders only think of themselves and not of the people they are leading. Of course, we know a lot of things exchange hands. They didn't support APC because they like the policies of APC. They are not supporting APC because they like Buhari or because they are dear to Tinubu. It is because something has exchanged hands. And so long as people continue to put their personal interest above that of the corporate interest of the body of Christ, it's going to be difficult. That's why I will take you back to what I said earlier. Let's pray for God to give us new leaders. Our problem is leadership. We have a leadership crisis in the Nigerian church. And let me tell you, the problem that is going on in Nigeria today, only the church can resolve it. Because it is a religious crisis. Only the church. It is now politics of religion. Islamism versus Christianity. Islamism is organized for battle. Up till now, the church is still not organized. Till I'm talking now, they are still pointing fingers. They are still saying this one is, but face the truth. They refuse to face the truth. So that is our problem, my sister. Simply put, it is greed. It is greed that brought us to where we are. Greed. If we can resolve the problem of greed in the church, and greed is the function, is the outcome of the prosperity message.
Hmm. Hmm.
Once you stop preaching the message of the cross, and you stop preaching the message of repentance and righteousness, and you are now preaching the message of prosperity, abundance, breakthrough, the outflow is greed and covetousness. So people don't know the difference between money from God and money from Satan, so long as it is money. We were
Pastor
betrayed.
Bosu, the way Pastor Suleiman, is it Suleiman that was preaching about how he bought a new private jet during the COVID season? And we are wondering, how he wanted COVID to remain because he bought a private jet. And they are now showing off all the monies, all the money. And I'm beginning to wonder, these pastors that we all probably regard, they are not even Christians in themselves. These are former Muslims. And I believe they still practice their Muslim whatever. They are not real Christians in the sense of it. These are former Muslims from Adeboye to Yedepo to Suleiman to Bakare. All these are Muslim names. These are people that grew up in TB Joshua. That one, I know that one truthfully. Is a Muslim. He was a Muslim. They still have this Muslim thing going on in them. This is their
Yeah,
Islamization.
that's
I think
what.
they're part of the willing tool that
No,
they're using to
no,
Islamize the entire community.
no. There are some pastors who are who are who are Muslim converts, but not all of them. Uh, Bishop Oyedepo, Pastor Adeboye, they have Christian roots. There are some who are actually Christian. But you see, the problem is this, my sister. It's the problem of the human race. God gives a man a gift. The gift becomes more important than the giver. That was what led to the fall in the garden. God gave Adam a wife. The wife became more important to Adam than God. So God said this, the wife said that. So Adam did what the wife said. That was what brought the human race into the gift became more important. That's what I mentioned at the beginning, that God wanting to unite Nigeria and unite the church started the Pentecostal fellowship, poured forth a new anointing, empowered people, gave them a lot of influence, gave them a lot of anointing so that they can gather his people together from different tribes and from different denominations and fuse them into one. Some of them received that calling, they received that commission, they received that grace, and attention shifted from God. Today, now, in most assemblies, they worship the man of God, not God who called him anymore. It's a very sad thing. The problem is such that it's only God who can solve it.
Oh no,
It's
we're not
no
waiting.
human,
We're not waiting for God.
no human is, no human can solve, because you can't remove them. No human being can remove them. And you have to be careful where you speak about them, or else their followers will just beat you to death, because their followers believe they can never do wrong. So we need God to come in and resolve this problem for us. That is the area in which I agree with prayer, that let's continue to pray. Lord, please give us new leaders. Raise leadership for us.
God has
Leadership like
come.
Samuel, leadership like
Pastor Bosu, God
Joshua.
is here. He has answered the prayer. Amen. He has answered it.
So
We are
that's,
here.
amen.
Yes, all the people are
So
here.
that is
The
the first.
people, the indigenous people. We have come to do the right thing. We are going to do the right church. He said it at the beginning now, that the power is in the hand of the ordinary church members. We are not waiting for titled leaders. You listening to me, you are the leader. All of us here, we are leading ourselves from darkness into light. We have made up our mind to move according to the word of God. We are not waiting for highfalutin titled leaders. We are not waiting. We are moving because God is one leading us himself. He is ahead. He is leading us and we are following God. Sister Muna, go ahead, please.
No, right. I was just going to say, go ahead,
Okay,
Pastor.
go ahead,
No,
sir.
Pastor, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to take the second question. Please, could you read
Okay.
it for me again? You gave me two questions, two packages as one.
Yeah, the second question talked about the time that Obasanjo spent in office, 8 years, Jonathan 6 years. So my question now is that, can you please unlock this puzzle? Could the problem be with the mercantile Christianity being preached today in our churches? I think you have answered it somehow.
Yes, as if we are comparing
You are
Obasanjo and
comparing, yeah.
Buhari, when we say black man is evil,
Hmm.
Buhari is a black man. But in 4 years, he has turned the
He
whole
has turned
Nigeria
Nigeria upside down.
into Islamic setup. Why did the Christians
Let
do
me tell
something
you a
like
story.
that?
Go ahead, Pastor.
Let me tell you a story. I heard the story from a very reliable Christian brother who doesn't just talk anyhow. We were talking about this matter. And he told me that when Obasanjo was in power, when he was president, some church leaders went to meet him. For the sake of decency, he did not mention the names, but he said some church leaders went to meet him to complain about two things: about corruption, about energy problem in Nigeria. And Obasanjo first answered the question on energy, what he was doing to resolve the crisis, the energy crisis, which till today has not been resolved. Then he now came to the issue of corruption. He now brought up some sheets of paper, blank sheets of paper, and distributed it to all the church leaders, one after the other. He said, you mentioned corruption in my government and that I should tackle the issue of corruption in the country. He said, that is no problem. He said, but please, on that sheet of paper, write for me anyone in my government whom you know is corrupt. While you are compiling your own list, I will also be compiling my own list. Obasanjo started writing his own. Of course, no church leader wrote the name of anybody. When he finished, he now said, do you have anything? All of them said no. He said, okay. You don't know anybody in my government that is corrupt that you can put the name down. They said no. He said, okay. He said, anyway, I have the names of some people in your churches who are corrupt. He now mentioned this one. He said, this one, his file was just brought to me by EFCC. He stole X amount of money from his bank. He built this house here, here, here. He's a member of your church. This one, mention another name, is a member of your own church. EFCC is still investigating her. She stole amount, houses, land, property with stolen money. She's a member of your church. You, in your own church, this one is a member, is being investigated for this and this and this, and it went on and on and on like that. He said, now listen, why I'm telling you this, all these people are in your churches. If you keep protecting them inside your churches, and you keep tolerating them inside your churches, then you are coming to me to complain about corruption in Nigeria. How will corruption be solved? They never went back after that to talk
Of
about
course.
nationalism.
Of course.
Corrupt people talking about corruption.
So
Fantastically corrupt people.
now, when you're talking about the black man, that's why I said something must be wrong with the black man. Now, I need to explain something to you because we mentioned Buhari. Yes, Buhari spent 4 years, but do you realize that Buhari is not a black man? There are two races in Nigeria. Nigeria is a country of two races, the Negroid and the Negro. The Fulani, Hausa, Kanuri, they are of the Negroid race. They are Negroid. Nigeria is a country of two races. It is from Middle Belt down that we are Negroes. They are of the Arab stock. It is the sun that darkened them. So the problem we are having is basically with the Negro race. It is the Negro race that was enslaved and is still being enslaved, and from all indications will continue to be enslaved. And that's the problem we need to raise. And the problem of the Negro race is leadership. You put a Negro in an office, that office becomes an extension of his personality, an extension of his body, an extension of his life. If you take him away from that office, even if he's doing nothing in that office, he expects that you should leave him there. So we try to trace the Negro race to its root, and we discover it's from the Bantus. There are three major genetic groups, so to say, the Caucasians, the Asiatic, and the Bantus. That's why the behavior of the Negro in Nigeria is the same in Ghana, is the same in Kenya, is the same in Tanzania, is the same in Uganda, is the same in Congo. It's the same. The Negro has a careless habit of mind, vain, easily impressed, and very subservient. Look, take a Negro master's degree holder, make him a supervisor at a construction site. That work will not be done. He holds a master's degree in civil engineering. That work will not be done. The first thing he will do is he will bring his girlfriend to the site, so that his girlfriend will see how many people he controls. Then his relatives will come and visit him at the site. And then he will come late because he's the boss. And the work will, even if the work is done, it will be done shabbily, it will be done in a shoddy manner. Go and bring a technician who just finished high school, but is a Lebanese. Don't even go to Germany. Just bring a Lebanese and bring him to that same site and tell him he's the overall supervisor controlling the master's degree holder. Then the work will start moving. That's when they will work. Look, somebody posted an article recently. He said people are saying some Nigerians have money that they refuse to invest. He said, him that is writing that he has more than sufficient money to open factories, and he has friends who have money to invest in opening factories, but they've discovered that if they should invest in anything, Nigerians will eat them down to the ground. That it does not matter if he has PhD. That the first mindset is that what is there is for him to steal. He said those who are investing now in Nigeria, say that is why they go to India to go and bring the chief executive. That if you see anybody investing any investment now that is sizable in Nigeria, say go and check. If he cannot pay for a German, for a Briton, or for an American, he goes to India to go and bring a chief executive. That if the foreigner is there, who is not a Nigerian, he will make sure they do the work. He will make sure they don't steal. But leave it in the hands of a Nigerian. Look at the people who are stealing now. Professors. Look at what is going on in our universities. They receive allocation for universities. Professors eat it. Professors steal the money. Who are the people who rig election? Who do the counting, the abracadabra mathematics? Is it not professors from universities? I read in the paper they were giving 20 million naira. The professor that helped an uneducated man, politician, to rig election, the same professor, you now want him to go and catch a student who is cheating, who is conducting examination malpractice. How is it going to work? You see, something is wrong with us. Our national psyche has to be redefined. And that's why I come back to this issue of leadership. Look at what happened in Tanzania. A star rose in Africa. That former president of Tanzania, Magufuli, who died a few days ago. You could look at the man and say, thank God, at least we have a sensible leader in Africa. He died mysteriously at the age of 61. A lot of people believe there is foul play concerning his death. I don't know how far it is true, but the man is dead. And look just beside him, Museveni in Uganda. Is that what you are going to call leadership? So as far as Buhari is concerned, the mindset of Buhari, the mindset of the Fulanis, the mindset of the Islamists is that the Negro race in Nigeria, they are all slaves. That's their mind. That's why they don't respect. They treat us with disrespect. They treat us with disdain. It is people you don't respect that you treat like this. They practically have no regard for us. Because the Arabic word for slave is abid. The Arabic word for black African is abid. It's the same word. Osama bin Laden in his lifetime, he was interviewed in Morocco, and Osama bin Laden said, I quote, that is why when an Arab looks at a black African, what he sees is a slave. So to the Arab and to the Fulani, we are slaves. That's why a Fulani can get up and say all the land in Nigeria belongs to them, because slaves do not own properties. Now, it is now our responsibility to prove.
Yes. Think you froze. Wow, slaves. No wonder we are the fourth class citizen. Dr. Posi said it was the Fulanis, the cow. Who was the third one? And then we are
The houses that they have when the first set of
elevated a little bit. So we are the fourth. I don't even know if we are the fourth. I think we are nobodies. You know, we just don't even exist. And this has been ongoing. And when we mention on this platform that church is our problem, some people will come out and take offense that those that we left in charge and that have now sold the church to political parties, they have now collected money, and that's why you will never hear them speak. That's why they will never come to your rescue. While you're fasting and praying, they are doing what they are doing. And if we don't wake up and start looking for a solution and getting into the solution, especially that Nina's has set in place, we will be running in circles. These problems are endless. Pastor Bonsu will stay here for 300 hours. you will be the information is so mind-blowing and annoying that you don't even understand why our people are not paying attention. And we have all these educated fools walking around speaking English and being kind with their words and political correct. Hey, don't attack anybody, or just say it nicely. When you start playing with righteousness and evil with your political correctness, my dear, you are no longer righteous. You are no longer righteous. When anybody does bad, we must let them know. They don't have the right to tell us how to tell them they have done bad. You don't get to do that. You are a
Exactly.
bad student. When I'm trying to tell you that you're bad, you don't get to tell me, hey, whenever you're like this, because that's
Mm.
what you miss the mark. And whenever
Mm-hmm.
by the time you know it, you jump into the camp of the enemies because God is neither God does not like lukewarm or warm. He wants either your hot or your cold. So
Yes.
let's get away from all this political correctness, deceiving our people. Nobody wants to say the truth anymore. They don't want to offend anybody. To hell with those people that doesn't want to be offended. They have taken us back so many years, destroyed everything, and we're there playing panky with them.
It's
Disgusting
unbelievable.
human beings.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. Ongoing issues. We're telling you guys they will never speak. You're worshiping them, you're going to their churches, you're donating money, and here you are in a hellhole and they're not speaking. What does that tell you? They has been sold out, people, sold out. Oh my god, he's still having problem logging in. What the heck is this? Okay, so he's trying to log in, people. He's coming back in. I don't even know what happened. Oh crap.
Yeah, it's bad network. He says network.
Okay,
It's the country we find ourselves in now. Bad
yeah,
network.
Yeah. Okay. I'm back. Thank you.
Thank
yes,
God.
thank God.
Sorry, network. It just went off.
We already know.
Sorry. It just went. Okay. So I was saying that it is now left for us to prove that we are not slaves,
Mm-hmm.
that we are of noble birth,
Yes.
that we have pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
In the few seconds that the network threw me out, I was able to get to the chat section, and I read a comment from someone there who says, does this man know what he's talking about? Do you know what the Negroes have achieved over the years? Yes, I know there are a lot of things that the black man has achieved, particularly in the United States of America. I've read of so many of them. For example, the traffic light was invented by a black man. The elevator was invented by a black man. George Washington Carver was a scientist, a black man. His discoveries today is enriching millions of people in America. But I ask you one question, whoever made that comment. So
What
where has
effect?
that brought the black man?
Yeah, to what effect?
So where has it brought the black man? Even in America. What has it brought the black man? Even in Nigeria. What has the discoveries, the enormous capacity that the black man has, how has it benefited the black man in Congo? That they will come and take the raw materials out of Congo and they will come in with a plane load of guns and bullets for the people to continue to kill each other. While they will go away with the raw materials. So of what effect, of what use, of what benefit? Let's stop deceiving ourselves. We need to address the problem of leadership. We have a serious leadership deficit as a race. And we need to work at producing leaders who will put the collective interest above his personal interest. Whether he's a pastor, whether he's a politician, whether he's a traditional ruler, whether he's a manager, the black man has this tendency, he puts himself first, not the collective interest. And that has to change if we are going to survive, because a tree cannot make a forest. As far as
Absolutely.
Buhari is concerned, we are all slaves. That's why he treats us with disdain. That's why he treats us with disrespect. And that's why the Fulani can do whatever they want. See the impunity with which they enter our towns, our villages, kill people, rip open pregnant women. shoot them, and nobody does anything to them. And on top of it, they will tell you that they own all the land.
We are infidels.
And somebody wants to tell me that the Negro has achieved something over the years. So what has that benefited you?
Thank you,
That
Pastor.
is our problem, my sister. Next question.
Thank you so much. Some of our people are still lost in the wilderness, and we're not waiting for them. They get confused about what, because it's always about the he's go. You feel like I'm a black man, you're talking down on me. My brother, you are a fourth class citizen. Get it through your head. Until you make yourself to become first class, you become to be the 100 class citizen, not even fourth, because fourth is giving us very close to number one. So we are going to offer some solutions because the problem is real. Our brother boss who has been going around lamenting on these issues. He's giving seminars, he's giving a lot of talks, he has discussed these issues, and people are playing games. They're still fasting and praying. But my take on this is that we're not even waiting for them. When you talk about remnants, we are the remnant. These people, they have been captured. Hear it again. These people have been captured. They are in a prison system and they are waiting for someone to come and unlock the gate. And that's what we're here to do. So we recognize that they're not going to wake up one day and say, whoa, is this what has been done? No, as we're telling you, tomorrow they will pile in that church and be dancing while the Fulanis are coming from the other side and locking up everywhere. That's all they know how to do. And we that are still alert about the issues, we're here to tell them, you know what, captives, your God in heaven has offered you freedom and you must receive that freedom. So I'm going to play this next video so that we can move along. We thank you so much, our guests. This has been an eye-opening show. And here is some of the solution here. I hope they don't play commercials.
I will begin by informing us that the Alliance identified 3 constituencies at the start of stakeholders we needed to engage privately. The church leaders, we sent out messages to them, and we're talking about the most visible ones, 52 DHL packages containing all the documents, including what we got from the British Archives. That stand at the foundation of our problem. And all the things we have done, we wanted to take the church leaders into confidence. So we sent those materials to them. We followed up, agreed to meet with them. I don't want to call them, but if you hear what transpired in the 10 years we followed up with them, you'll be sorry for our people. But now, those things we were trying to avoid began to happen. The killings are taking place. Nobody has an answer. But God has made available an escape route. Let us step in and confront them. And there's a video we can point them at. It's titled Unraveling the Foundations of the Caliphate Prison. That video is on YouTube. Unraveling the Foundations of the Caliphate Prison, where I was addressing a convention of church leaders on the subject of our meeting today. What can we do to get out of this danger? Second, we come to the question of the one that talks about the report that talks about what we have to do right now. The constitution we have now seen is the source of all the problems, whether it's the killings or the poverty or the corruption or the infrastructural decay. Everything we complain about, impunity, everything that we complain about, including this danger that is coming upon us, is coming from that constitution. That's one item. Second item, the life of that constitution is renewed once every 4 years by elections. No other means. Elections. 3, the only people that contest election are political parties. That was what we saw from the Amechi case from Supreme Court. Four, all the political parties in Nigeria subscribe to that constitution. That's why they go to elections under it, even when we are shouting. Finally, whoever wins, whether it's PDP or APC or AGA, any party at all, whoever wins is going to swear to defend and uphold the source of our misery, that constitution. When you put the five together, you will then understand it when we say that the way to start where the populace can come and act now and determine the time frame for when everything will end is to tell the political parties that they must now close shop because there's nothing else they're doing. They're waiting for to become governor, to become senator, or to become contractor, or to become president. The political parties must now be confronted by those who have been killed, those whose future have been ruined by all kinds of things, whether it's the SARS and SARS movement people or the labor union people that are now going to cry about increment one more time of petroleum. Everybody who is facing the danger of death or the ones being killed in the middle belt. It is the political parties that are now warming up to go and renew the life of that constitution in 2023 that we must stop in 2021. If we can stop them, if we can tell them that you can't take us to the renewal of the source of our misery, it is within our reach. That is the one Clifford is asking about, to stop the electoral process, to stop them from starting. It is not boycott that happens at the last minute when you stay away from voting, and then it's already too late. Because under the arrangements we had, even if it's 10 people that turn up in a constituency of 1,000 people, they will declare a winner. As it is for councillor, as so it is for president, they're going to declare a winner. So what we need to do, what is within our reach to do, get information first, circulate the information as widely as they can go, and get people to join in the task of saving ourselves from this damnation. Because if we can get the political parties to stop, to tell them that, ask them by what constitution will they govern if they win. All of the ones who come to tell you that they're going to perform one miracle or the other to change anything. Will any of them alter the statistics? Will any of them dismantle the 68 item exclusive list under which Dangote is all our assets are seized and given over to people from that part in the Niger Delta? They call it oil block. You seize the oil and gas assets of the people and you allocate it to your own people and you call it oil block. You seize the port of Lagos, from which Nigeria takes over 2 trillion. You give half of it to Dangote. He doesn't deal with custom. You seize the limestone of Benue and hand it over to Dangote. He is now to produce cement at no cost to himself, and you call him the richest man in Africa. You have locked down the possibility of refineries. The states can license and supervise, regulate refineries. You lock down the foreign license Dangote to build refineries. Created a monopoly. You build another refinery in the same public. So in all of this, let us tell the political parties that unless there's a legal alternative constitutional arrangements that take care of this Sharia is a preliminary question. We are not even going to discuss anything except Sharia is out of the table. So if they come, tell them they have to close shop.
Awesome. Thank you for that. All right, Sister Epi, go ahead.
Thank you, my sister. That was our brother, Barrister Tony Nadi of LNC and Ninas. Some people that are joining for the first time, you say, what is Ninas? I don't know if this is showing. We're talking about solutions. Yes, we're talking about solutions. From all our discussion, you can hear that what has happened is that these people in the white place, the Negroes, have been enslaved, and they put slave mentality in their brain, so they will not be able to help themselves. This is where the Negroids, they have taken care here. They have conquered here, and they are coming to finish up the Negroes here. And the Negroes here are sleeping and are still under the illusion of church leaders. So we on this platform, we have woken up, and some people are already up also with solutions. because we are not waiting for God to come down. God has given us the solution, given us the brain to execute it, and we are running with it. And we'll be giving God thanksgiving at this point in time because the solution is here. And the solution is so beautiful that we don't need all the dead Negroes to execute it. We only run with awake Negroes to execute this job. Now, part of what is being done is another thing. If you look at this, it says the emerging federations. The emerging federations. You see, these federations are broken. If you go to our website, this thing, you see all this. These are emerging federations. So, for about 60 years, we have tried to build a nation with the Negroid, like you heard our pastor tell us today. We've tried to build a nation with them. The people that hate us so much, they have a different worldview. All they think about is how to butcher us, exterminate us, massacre us. They find joy and excitement in doing it. We've tried to build a nation with these people, murderers, for over 60 years. But what we're saying now, many people are saying, not just us, we are of the view that Nigeria is dead. Onwugo. Oh, sorry.
And it's smelling.
You don't finish. You don't die.
Mm-hmm.
Finish. What you're seeing is the carcass. And what we are praying is that she should just die peacefully and go without taking some of us and our family members to her grave. Because that's what the battle is now. We thank God for the states being taken by NINAS. That's Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination. Already they have done the constitutional force majeure, which says that constitution that they are using to kill us, to bind all of us together, and they are playing game. They read the constitution. The politicians read constitution. They give to church leaders. They mix it together. They tie all of us. As the politicians and the enemies are killing us, the church leaders are singing song on top of our head. Holy, holy. And then we sleep off. Lullaby. And then they come and massacre us. So we have our reason. Already after the constitutional force majeure, on the 17th of March, we saw the World Press Conference telling the world this is the decision we have made. We, the indigenous peoples, we have made the decision. Then international stakeholders are already on board. They're already aware. We're not scratching our head. The solution is there. We're running with it. So the international stakeholders, those on the side of the Lord, because when we talk of international communities, they have those that are from Lucifer branch and those from God's side. Those from God's side, those on the Lord's side, are already on board with us. Now, with what LNC is doing, we have 3 blocks. You can see the 3 blocks here. This is the Middle Belt block. This is Oduduwa block, Yoruba block. And this is the Lower Niger block. Of course, this is the Sharia territory where the Negroids have put their caliphates and are living there, as in they are laying eggs here. But we here, our head is still out small. So there are 3 blocks of alliance. And these 3 blocks collectively are now into transition, because as we are saying, we are moving. We are not begging the Negroid to leave us. We are saying that we are moving because we have the intelligence. Like, you can follow the discussion. We invent things. We build things. We know our capacity, but it's just that we have a weakness. And because of our weakness, the Negroid capitalize on our weakness. And they're using it to destroy us. And we are saying no to weakness. No to the weakness. As women, as daughters, as mothers, we are the one giving birth to the children being killed. We say no to weakness. We are ready. We are now in transition. And that transition is taking us into 2 stages. to officially end this union of death and miseries for our people. We are now in a competition, because that's what we're seeing now. There's a competition between light and darkness, between truth and falsehood. Unfortunately, my people, the Church of Nigeria is on the side of darkness and falsehood and injustice. That's where the leaders, because the leaders, the Christian leaders of Nigeria, are bed partners. They are bed partners with unrighteousness. They are bed partners with political parties. They are bed partners with politicians. They are giving them, they are reading, they are eating. So they are bed partners. And you know, judging from reading Bible, you can see that God himself broke Israel into pieces because Israel failed to uphold righteousness. That's what God did by himself. So that those that are deceiving you with religious sentiments, my people, begin to tell them today to stop it. They should go and read their Bible. When Israel refused to uphold righteousness as God said it should be, God scattered them by himself. He broke them into pieces. Broke them into pieces and scattered them all over the world. Say, leave the land. You don't deserve to be here. So we're saying it is time to wake up. Now, on the 17th of March, 2020, we heard, and those that have not watched it, we posted that video in our wall and YouTube. Professor Akintoye openly and strongly spoke about Odua Nation. He spoke about his people. They're here. This one in blue. But from close observation, because you can see, you see that we're trying to tie these things together so that we're almost ending. The Yoruba nation, they are ready to go. But what we're seeing is that the politicians who are benefiting from Nigeria's corruption still want one Nigeria. Why the masses want to go. And we are thinking that it will not continue that way. So coming to you now, Pastor Bosun, you are a Yoruba man. Before you became born again, pastor, all these things that you have done, you were a Yoruba man. That means you are from the side of Odua Nation. We can see that Odua people are getting set to move. We can see their youths working with their elders, which is the right thing to do. Youths have energy, but elders have experience and wisdom. So they are working together. That's what we know that they're ready. When you see youths working with their elders, you know that those youths are ready for freedom. So do you foresee in the near future where these people that have refused, these political elites in Yoruba land, because like you said, it's not the Fulani that is in the north, in Aso Rock, that is stopping Yoruba nation. It's the political elites living in Yoruba land, calling themselves Yorubas, while the Yoruba masses are dying. Do you see the possibility of the Yoruba masses turning against their political leaders, their traditional leaders, and even their church leaders? Do you see something like that coming? Please tell us about it, and then also talk about the Christians in other blocks, that are still sleeping in one Nigeria. Please wrap them up. I know it's too much, but try, please, sir. Thank you.
No, it's okay. It's no problem. First, let me apologize for my dog. I didn't know that his usual noise making got into the program. Sorry about that. The situation in the southwest in Yoruba land concerning this issue is very clear. I've tried to sample opinions from our people and from some leaders that I could talk to, including leader of Islam in Yoruba land. I tried to find out what exactly are we doing. The decision has been taken, and that is the Yoruba people want to leave. Now, that is the decision. That's what, I don't know what will happen tomorrow. Oh, sorry again, it's starting.
The dog wants to be heard. He's seeing something in the spiritual realm that is
Exactly. You
about
know
to
dogs, they
go
see
down.
well.
It's going down, people. It's
Yeah.
going down.
I've asked that it should be taken away from this vicinity. If we can go and be making noise elsewhere. So the decision, in fact, I spoke to a prominent leader and I said, isn't there anything we can do to stop it and still go on and rebuild Nigeria? He told me, don't ever mention it. That if you say what you have just said somewhere, people will think you are mad. They don't even say it, that we are living. The problem that we have are the traditional rulers, some of them, not all of them, the political leaders, those who are still governors, senators, members of the House of Rep, the political jobbers, because as bad as the situation is, some people are getting some benefit.
Of course.
And being Negroes, so long as they get something out of it, they don't see anything wrong with it.
Right.
Okay? They only believe something is wrong the day they throw them out. That's the day they start abusing them. And then, to make it worse, our Christian religious leaders, some of them are also aligned with what is going on. And it's not because at this point they want to. You see, they have eaten the forbidden fruit. They've eaten what they are not supposed to eat. And if you eat from these people, you better do what they say. Because you can't collect money from them and then turn around and say their mouth is smelling. And you know the most insulting part of it is that the money that they are dishing out to bribe our people is our
It's
money.
our money.
So sad.
It's our money that is being used to enslave us. They don't have a dime. Whatever they have today is money that came from the South, from oil, from gas, from port, from VAT. That's all. It's our money. But the solution is simply this. And the Yoruba people have said it openly. Openly. It's not, they are not hiding it. They've told the politicians, they've told the traditional rulers that one day you will just hear a knock in your house. Say, don't worry, in the middle of the night you will hear a knock. Say, don't worry yourself. It is not Fulani. It is us. It is us, the youth of Yoruba land. We will beat you silly. And some of you will kill you because you are the one who is causing problem for us now.
Absolutely.
So we are getting to a point in which there is going to be a rising against the Yoruba leadership. If they don't move as fast as the people want. What is restraining them is that the likes of Professor Banji Akintoye has now given them a timetable. So long as that timetable is running, nobody will do anything rash. They waited for the 90 days. They didn't do anything rash. They won't do anything. They have a timetable. After the 90 days, they were told, we are giving 30 days to consult with the leaders, with the so for the next 30 days they won't do anything. They will wait. After that, I don't know what will happen. But one thing that I know, except a miracle occurs, except the Negroid race, they receive a dose of common sense and realize that Nigeria can never be Africa can never be an Islamic continent, and Nigeria will not allow itself to be Fulanized and Arabized. If they agree and they say, okay, all of you say you want to go, all right, forget all this agitation. Let's go back to 1963 Constitution. We will restructure. We will do this. We will do that. Yes, maybe the situation may now change and people may now say, okay, let's review this. But I don't see that even happening. And the reason why I don't see it happening is that they have invested so much into this caliphate project. To now turn back at this point and say they are not going ahead with it, the Arabs will not agree. So we just have to wait and give it time. One hopes that the leaders in the Southwest, the political leaders, the traditional leaders, as well as the religious leaders, all of them will see where their people want to go. And they will say, you better flow with the wind and flow with the tide, rather than flow against the tide. Just go with the current as it is going. Then everybody turns and say, yes, we are all going. But if they don't do that, you know the way the Yoruba people work, because they are so tolerant, because they are so accommodating, they don't get angry very quickly. They are so tolerant to a fault. They will keep accommodating. But the day they say, it's enough. Shemo, otoge, shemo, they are not doing. Now, when they say no like that, they are not going to start with fighting the Fulani. Fulani is not their problem. They will start with their leaders because they will hold their leaders responsible. This may sound funny, but the days the Fulani hears that the Yoruba people have started attacking their leaders, every Fulani should start picking race and start running back to the desert. Because when they finish with their leaders, they are coming for them. Over to you.
Wow. Outstanding news. We are glad that you made this clear, because some people were using what we did on March the 17th to minimize where we are going with this. What they don't know, like you say, if you don't go with the tide will take you with it. So for those of them playing games with where this God's work is going, this restoration project is going, because you're making money off of the misery of our people. We have not seen any difference between you and the RCC church and all the churches in Nigeria. People are dying, hunger is in the land, everything is happening. My dear, it will take you down. The good news is that as we accept these changes, like the Oduduwas are doing, they have opened up their borders, things will start becoming cheaper, just like in South Africa. When they started making the change, they started seeing the immediate effect of what has happened already.
Yeah.
Soon you will find out that rice will be coming in from Benin Republic, which are typically Yorubas before some colonial master divided them for their own good. You will see that things will begin to somebody is intentionally holding you down. And you're here speaking fine English, you're trying to maintain your reputation. You're trying to keep your cool. You're trying to whatever you guys are doing there. I don't want to be part of it because I'm on the other side of reputation, my dear. You don't even know what's coming for you. You don't even have a clue what's coming. Tsunami is coming to Africa, Nigeria in particular. Tsunami is coming. So if you are in the war of tsunami, you know how you will end. So get ready for your burial. For those of you that are playing games with this, go and mark. I don't even know if you'll be able to get burial, because the fish may eat you, actually, right? The shark may eat you. We are not playing here.
No.
We're not playing. Go ahead, sisters.
No, we're not playing. And thank God, thank our viewers. So you heard when our daddy mentioned the 30 days. for the politicians in these regions. We are not talking the ones here or the Negroids. We are talking of the politicians in this purple area, Middle West Block. You see this blue area, the politicians here, the elected officials, and the ones here. You have 30 days to consult with the people. Because where this is going is that this region, these blocks, they've been told now to go and make sure of their maps. Sorry, is it coming from me? Okay. The maps, your own map. You see, this map is clear. It's not something that is blurry. It's broken already. It's clear. So the map, and then the what's the second one, sisters? They should get their map, and then your constitution ready, the constitution of your region. Now, for people in this purple place and in this brown place, that's the middle belt and lower Niger block, because we have nationalities, other sub-nationalities in those areas. You're not going straight to constitution making. You're going to charter of relationship. And as we speak, that is ongoing already. That charter of relationship is being put in place. Because the charter of relationship will say, this is my neighbor, this is where I start, this is where I stop, this is how we're going to relate. You know, like the way nations are supposed to be built. So that we're not going to start fighting. Those that are thinking that we start fighting ourselves, we're not fighting ourselves. We are taking our time to cross all the T's and dot all the I's. The Yorubas are moving faster because it's mainly one ethnic region.
Homogeneous, because somebody was asking, what about the Igbos? What are the Igbos doing? And as rightly explained, the charter of relationship is what we are doing right now, where an Ijaw person is an Ijaw in his own land, an Ogoni is an Ogoni in his own land, an Efik, Anang, we are who we are in our own small tiny territory. The Yorubas have one language. They are homogeneous. They understand themselves. They are acting at the same speed. And that is why it's as if they are in the forefront. So for those that are asking that question, we are doing that charter, trying to discuss what an Ogoni man wants versus what an Efik man wants. Not somebody coming to tell us that we are all Biafran, forming Biafran nation, forming some, come and tell me what. No, we're not into that. So an Ogoni will tell you what Ogoni wants. An Efik will tell you what an Efik wants. So that's where we are right now with the Lower Niger block. And that's why we're calling it Lower Niger, because I had somebody call me 2 days ago and was asking, what are the Igbos doing differently? And why are we using Lower Niger? The Lower Niger block is part of the South, and Southeast. So it's not just the Igbo man coming to overshadow you. No. The Igbo man is not coming to tell you what to do. The Igbo man is in his own corner. The Efik man is in his own corner, and that is why the charter of relationship is important. Yorubas are at the forefront because they are homogeneous, they have one goal, it has been said, and and for those that said, oh, if Yoruba go, what happens? The domino effect will take in. So, Sister Effie, sorry to cut you.
Of course, thank you so much, Sister Augusta. So, the Igbo man that is asking, what will you do? Igbo man, you are Igbo nation. You are Igbo nation in Lower Niger block. You're not going to Ijaw man's land to take his land. You're not going to Efik man to take his land. So if you're Igbo man, start coming yourself together. You, the Igbos, bring yourself together, because you will decide whether you want to be in a federation in Lower Niger block. That Lower Niger block, that Lower Niger federation, this place that we are talking about is a whole place. The Igbo people, that are just like 5 states inside here. So bring yourself together. As the Ijaw man is gathering himself together, as the Shekiri man is gathering himself together, then we decide what we will call the federation. We will vote and decide what we will answer. Everything is democratic. Now, the next thing that we do, the third one, is referendums. You hear I said referendums. I didn't say one national referendum. No. Referendums. There will be referendums in all the blocks. The referendums will now say, we want to federate or we don't want to federate with other people. We want to stay about, you will decide. The people will speak. and it will be UN monitored referendum. Is UN. So these things, so because UN will do that, UN has asked for two things. Your map, get your map and your chart of relationships ready. And that's why I'm telling our people that these things, thank you for that video, that picture, the domino effect. You see, that one will collapse. So you put pressure on that, you collapse. And we're saying there's no way we'll be doing all this and be thinking of election for a country that has died. We say Nigeria is dead. We the people, we the indigenous people, that the nation we wanted to build with the Negroids that have been killing us for years, that nation is dead. So all you need to put pressure, you see where we're putting pressure. If you look at this domino effect, you see middle belt, you see southeast, you see south, you see southwest. They are putting weight on that thing. All these things we are doing, that means there's no election 2023. The election you have is in your region. We are not saying the politicians will not come back. You will come, but let's settle the issue of sovereignty. People are coming to kill us, take away our lands and our resources. We need to finish it up. We need to handle that issue first before we go to other things, into election. Thank you. Okay, Sister Mona, thank you for this picture. No, there was one that you just passed. Should I talk about it? There was one.
Yes, yes, which
No,
one?
not this one. There's one. No. No, go front again. Is this type, but it's a different type.
I can't even see you. Let's see where you are. What are you showing
Okay,
me?
go back front. Go back front.
Go
Once you
back,
finish, I'll tell
go
you.
back.
Hmm. Okay, slowly. Okay,
Yes, yes.
yes. Can you enlarge it? Viewers, please, I want you to look at this. You see, when God is fighting, when there's darkness in the land, what God does is to introduce light. That's all. Because once light comes, darkness will disappear. Darkness and light, they don't contend. All you need to do when there's darkness in the land is to introduce light. And the more light you shine, the more darkness will shrink. The same thing with righteousness and wickedness. When there's wickedness in the land, when there is unrighteousness in the land, what you will do is to plant righteousness, water righteousness, it will expand. And when we say righteousness, we're not saying that thing that people like say, love your neighbor as yourself. So if you see Fulani, you gotta love him and marry him. That's not what we're saying, please. We are talking of you, you're righteous, you. Stop killing your brother. You. Get ready to serve God. God. Now, imagine in this brown parts that you plant righteousness there. You see, with the trees going up, what is under it? That's the Atlantic Ocean. If the roots of righteousness we enter inside this Atlantic Ocean, forever that seed will be watered and it will never dry.
Mm-hmm.
You see, unrighteousness is coming up and wickedness is coming down from up, from that green area. The Negroids are pushing down wickedness. We are the Negroes. We are the seed of righteousness. Now we will push righteousness up. And as we push it up, it will germinate and spread open. So we are calling you on you. Join Ninas. Let's plant righteousness. Let's water righteousness. Let righteousness expand, because righteousness will exalt us and exalt the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wow. What
Sister,
a
let's allow some questions if we have viewers
what
that want to
a
call in.
what a wonderful show today. Pastor, how do you feel? We know we've taken most of your time. Do you want us to allow questions? Because I'm telling you, people are dying. Like, I think everybody on this platform, they've been looking for you, just like we've been looking for you. You can see the comments, how happy they are. So I don't know if you have the time to take few calls or comments or whatever, an address, or you because I know you're time bound with a lot of things going on. So, what do you
It's
think?
okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
We take
All right,
we
callers.
take
So
it.
as usual, our phone number is posted on the platform, and I'm gonna go ahead and repeat it. It's +1 774 338 0942, +1 774 338 0942. You can call that number as a regular number, or you can also reach us via WhatsApp number on it. So yeah, this is a good time to call to talk to Pastor Bansu. But what we Bosu, what we are waiting for you guys to call, Pastor. Is there anything else you would like to add? Because we know we sort of cut you short in some of the things that you wanted to say.
Yes. We we showed a video at the beginning of this program, a 5-minute clip, and for us, it's a burden. It's a burden that as Christians we should respond to the distress and the calamity that has befallen our brethren, the persecuted Christians. Uh, they did nothing wrong. They did not steal. They did not commit adultery. It was just by chance that they were born in that particular area. If any of us was born in that particular area, we also will have suffered the same kind of distress. Imagine the agony of being woken in the middle of the night with gunshots, and one is forced to vacate his home with only what he's wearing. That is, if he's wearing anything at all. And some of them, as they were going, members of their families were being killed. Imagine the agony of being driven out of one's house with all your property, all your life savings, everything that makes you a person. You have to leave everything behind and run for your life into the bush, into the mountains. So we have thousands upon thousands of internally displaced persons. The United Nations says that they should not be called refugees because they are still within their countries, that they will only become refugees if they cross the border, that inside the country they are internally displaced persons. They are refugees because they've been driven from their home.
Mhm.
In Benue, we counted 22 IDP camps. On one camp alone, there were over 36,000 victims there, and there are 22 in Benue State. In Taraba, we counted over 46 IDP camps. In Borno State, you don't even count IDP camps because they've all fled. They've taken over. The local government that remains to be completely taken over is Gwoza, and Boko Haram has taken over 80% of Gwoza and is fighting for the remaining 20%. Christians are killed, they are massacred. In addition, our young Christian girls are just abducted. We rescued a young girl recently, 14 years old, abducted and married off to a 60-year-old man. No parental consent. So all these interventions require a lot of financial assistance. God gave us the grace to start a trust fund, which I took to CAN in 2014, and the National Executive Committee of CAN approved it. We were to raise 5 billion naira every month. We need that much money because the victims have now extended from the north to the middle belt. We now have them in Igbo land. We now have victims in Bayelsa. We have in Delta. We have in Oyo State. We have in Ekiti State. We have in Ogun State. Christians who have been, some have been injured, maimed, their means of livelihood destroyed. So we are appealing to Christians locally, within the country and in diaspora, that if every Christian could be kind enough and contribute 500 naira a month, 500 naira a month will not affect your commitment to your church. It will not affect your commitment to your denomination. It will not affect offering. It will not affect tithe. But if 1 million Christians could agree to contribute 500 naira, that is 500 million. If 10 million Christians could agree and contribute 500 naira, that is 5 billion. It will not affect a single individual. It will not affect a single church. But if we put this money together, we are able to succor our brethren. We are able to reinforce the Christians in the Middle Belt. Since 2012, I have been telling Christians that we must reinforce the Middle Belt, that we must not allow Middle Belt to collapse. If the Middle Belt should collapse, then this evil is going to come down south. That we should see the Middle Belt as our buffer zone and quickly reinforce them, strengthen them, encourage them, equip them to be able to stand and resist the Islamists. Christians didn't listen to me. It's because the Middle Belt is cracking. That's why they are coming down south. And the more the Middle Belt cracks, the more they will come down south. You see, if the Middle Belt is closed off for them, they can't come down to the south. So we're calling Christians that don't even see it as if you are helping them. See it as a security contribution that you are protecting yourself. And the same call I'm still making today. The first trust fund that we tried to start, the first trust fund that we tried to start was deliberately frustrated by church leaders, deliberately. In 3 years, 2017, 2018, 2019, in those 3 years, we lost 180 billion naira in expected revenue. 180 billion. If we had 180 billion naira, we had prepared a strategy document on how to deal with this matter. We had raised a group of think tank elders who are ready to put their experience and their knowledge and their connections to help. We will have stopped this thing without firing a bullet. We would. I can tell you, if not for the treachery of the church leaders, I repeat that word, treachery, because we were betrayed. The Nigerian church was betrayed. That's why we are having this crisis in the country. If not for that betrayal, we will have stopped Buhari by 2018. By 2019, this matter will have become history. But
Wow.
we decided to pick it up again by launching a new trust fund. And that's the one the video was produced to inform and sensitize as well as appeal to Christians. And I'm using this opportunity to appeal to everyone that is on this program today, and that you should please spread the word. 500 naira is just about $1 now. And for those who are abroad, it's just about $1. It's less than €1. It's less than £1 now. If all of us can be contributing that every month, and we can build a central purse, there is still time. We can stop the killing. Let me make it clear. I agree with what Dr. Ekwi said. We need to pray that in the determination of the ethnic nationalities to leave Nigeria, because many of them are determined to exit the country, we need to pray that it will not turn violent. We need to pray that blood will not be shed. We need to pray for God's intervention, that whatever is going to happen, let it be peaceful. You see, because the people we are dealing with, they delight in shedding blood. They delight in destruction. In fact, they are willing to die because they believe that it is when they die that they will get to Ajana and 72 virgins are waiting for them. That's their worldview, that's their mentality. So we need, there is still time for us to put structures in place to make sure that whatever is going to be done is done peacefully and is done very quietly so that there is minimal damage to lives and to property and to our country. So that is my appeal in rounding
Thank
up
you.
my comments for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that's what Ninas is all about. You know, we don't want any anarchy. We know there's so much blood shed in our land. We are not looking to do any of that. And it's important to us that we follow this protocol set by Ninas so that we can divide this nation or federation or fake federation amicably, as good as we can, because any day that we go into I mean, they're waiting for you guys to kill yourselves anyway. You're Negroes, and the Negroes are waiting to kill you. So if you don't follow the guideline, as Nina said, that's how you can find yourself in the other camp where you don't want to be. And war is not a child's play. Some people are playing with it. They think it's all this. Just a little flight in a plane that went through Olo. They all went to the toilet. Some of them jumped into the latrine thinking it was swimming pool. So it's not that funny, my people. Follow the protocol. God has deemed us worthy to give us such a platform to get our freedom. Very easy, very easy. You don't have to struggle for this. Our brother here made it clear as to who is holding us down, and we have shouted up from this platform over and over again. We saw that already, that they were the one holding us down. Brother Bonsu now that is talking. I remember when I was at Redeem in a platform where we are planning to go to Costa Rica and conquer Costa Rica for Christ. I posted his video, that stand up video about repentance in Nigeria and how we are building, not building fellowship. The pastors, everybody ran from that platform. They removed themselves as soon as they saw the video. Obviously, they have seen the video before I did, because they will not talk about the killings in the church.
Sister Mona, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not interrupting you. You now understand that reaction. That is the instruction from Adeboye. The letter we read. You see how dogmatic they are. You see how they cannot think with their brain. They did not even wait to know the content of. Once they saw the video, they saw leprosy. They jumped out of the G because that the GO say whenever you see the video, run.
They
The white
did
Fulanis
this.
are coming to kill them.
They wouldn't even mention a church, because I was fighting with them. I said they are killing people at home. You guys are not saying, at least we're praying for people in Costa Rica. We're going there for medical trip. We're doing all these things. Some people are being killed at home. None of you say let's pray for the killings
Because
going on
that
at
the
home.
OGO said don't mention
My
it.
dear, I was fighting all of a sudden when they did
Crossing the
that
secrets.
video. I said to hell with whatever fake midweek prayers you guys are doing here. Obviously, there's something you guys are doing that I don't know about. They
Hypocrites.
all left. They all left. Even the pastor, I think the pastor blocked me because I kept sending him information.
He has to block you now. He did not read the instruction. So supposed to just read the instruction now from Daddy Gio. You have to be blocked. You're still surprised.
After all
Daddy
the money
Gio
I
said
spent on this
when you see
animal.
that document or that video, block the person and run away from the person. They go and hug Fulanis, the transformer, so that you will be executed.
Wow. Well, my sister, it all made sense. Our brother put it together for us to understand that this is not one mind business. This is a criminal enterprise going on right in front of our eyes while we are fasting and praying and dancing. Because we have the best song. Our song is known all over the world. I remember going somewhere in Hawaii. We were in a mountain and they were playing one of my sister's songs, Sinach or whatever her name is. I said, and it was white people. They were just dancing, youth that came for a camp. I said, wow, this is how deep. How can I find myself somewhere on the top of a mountain in Timbuktu and somebody? That means people are. So we have what it takes. It's just that these people are using everything that they can to hold us down, and we're allowing them to do that.
I will say no
So
more.
enough of that, my people. I posted our link here for you to join on StreamYard if you want. I've posted it over and over again. I also posted the phone number is +17743380942. If you go on top of the topic, that phone number is also posted. So if we don't get any call because someone keep asking for it, we will just call it a day.
Hope
I
your
think.
phone is on. I hope your
Yes,
phone is
yes,
on.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
the volume is on too.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
they're still
phone.
chewing the information. The information is too much, my dear.
It
The
is.
information is too
It
much.
is.
So it's
It's
also
too
that
much
still
to chew.
chewing it to
So
digest.
right. So we thank you, Pastor. We I think we should even have a section part of this too at a later time, or part two of this thing at a later time, because the information is voluminous. Voluminous. It's a lot for us to swallow all at the same time. Even though it may not be, because a lot of us have been feeling this thing in the spirit. We knew there was something that, more than meets the eye. We just didn't know what it is. And now it's called the church. The church in Nigeria is there waiting for Africa to be taken over for Islamic agenda, because they are collecting little change. A little change. You said, Pastor, you said in that video, in that audio, that once anything happened, the so-called elite will catch the next flight and fly out. And as I'm telling you, where I live, they have bought a whole neighborhood and locked it up. You can tell if it belongs to Nigerians because nobody is walking around there. So this is what you hear every day. For those of you that are still sleeping, calling names and thinking we're here to worship any man, we are not here to. Our allegiance is to our new nation. Our allegiance is to God foremost, and then the next one is to our new nation. We're not here for any man. We're here for true freedom for our people. So we thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm going to let my sisters put in one or two words so that we can let our pastor go. He's such a busy man. We are so honored to take his time this weekend to get this done. Go ahead, sisters.
Oh, Sister Augusta, do you have any? I thought you wanted to come in.
Yeah, I was trying to post that information, the bank account that for the lay faithful, um, what is
Oh,
it
okay,
called?
good. Let me. Yeah,
Pastor.
we'll put that information on our page too. We're going to
Yeah, put
put
it.
on our
Yeah, put
page.
it. Yes. So first of all, we just want to thank you, Pastor Bosun, for coming today. We have longed to see you, and I'm so glad I was in that group when you were talking, and Step were like, "Can you get his number? Can you get us? Okay, Pastor, give me your number." And luckily, you are here with us today. So we are so grateful to God, for you being here, and you've explained a lot. You've even made it more. You made it clearer. When you talked about the Negroid and the Negro, and I'm like, yeah, that is it. That is why we are where we are. So we thank you so much for everything that you have, explained to us today. We are hoping that we have a second meeting, a third one, a fourth one, as we move into our new nation, because we still need to educate our people. They
Yeah.
still need to understand that this is what their supposed daddy GOs have done in their name and in the name of Christ. Because
All of them.
they've
All
even
of them.
made
All
some
of them.
of us feel so like a bicycle to talk about church or even go to church or talk about Christianity. Because the fact that if our people are being killed and Christians are being displaced in their own ancestral homes, and these pastors are not doing anything about it, they're not talking about it, they're not even asking for help from the outside community, they are not making mention of the Christians that are being killed. I remember when the former vice president of America called the vice president of Nigeria to come over to find out what is actually happening. And he came and said, "Oh, it's between elders and farmers." And the man told him in plain language that you are lying. He said it. He said, "You are lying. The Christians have been killed, and you cannot, even as a pastor, as a lawyer, as a son, and all the bobo degrees that he has, he couldn't even tell the truth. That is his own people that are being killed. It's his Christian brothers and sisters that are being killed. It's the people that is pastoring over that are being killed.
We have a
Instead, he said
call.
it's farmers,
We have a
farmers and
call,
elders.
Sister
Oh, we
Augusta.
have a call. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, sister.
People like to wait to the last minute. Okay,
Last
call.
minute call. Yeah.
Caller, go ahead.
Hello,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, this is Dr. Iguala calling from Canada.
Good day, Dr. Iguala.
I'm just following the program for the first time. I cannot believe what you girls are doing. I'm so impressed. I'm so delighted.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm very much impressed. When was this? When did you start doing this?
Right. So
how long have you guys been doing this?
we've been on for
2 years.
it's been a while now. So, but we have a wonderful guest on the show. I was hoping that you will have a nice question for him because the man is well loaded with information for our freedom.
That is the professor?
Yeah, that's the pastor, the pastor Bosu.
Yes. This is so wonderful.
Thank you.
Where are you guys based? Are you based in the United States or where?
Yeah, we are based in the United States. We'll give you a call back. We are about to end the show. Okay, we'll call you. Please help us to share the video.
You have my number?
Yes, I have your number.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, right. So, we are not even here for thanking. We just want freedom, freedom, freedom. Let freedom ring from the east, west, everywhere side so that we can go home. Our people have suffered for so long and people are playing games. They think it's about popularities. They think it's about fake news. They think it's about photoshopping. They think it's about collecting money for our people. And we mothers are sick of it, sick of it, sick of it. We're not here for popularity contest. For those of you asking, oh, how many people are watching? If we can get that 7,000 men of remnants left in our land to wake up, we will go home. So we don't need to have 1 million followers of people that are lost in the wilderness. We are looking for the true followers, the remnants, so that we can get to our final destination. So, Sister Augusta, please go ahead and finish up.
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, and we also thank that caller. We pray you could share. Go to YouTube. We are there. We have old videos. You can review all the old videos. Twitter, yeah. So we're everywhere. So I just want to reiterate the Pastor Bosu's is the name of the account is Christian Social Movement of Nigeria, and it is Zenith Bank, and the account number is 101-413-8350. Please, our people, it's just $1. Those of you in America, it's just $1 or $1.50. That's all you needed to donate. And you can do that every month. Maybe you just write them $20 to cover the entire year. So it's not too much because $1, that's just what they need every month to help the IDP. If you all have seen these IDP people, you would cry. People that are internally displaced in their own ancestral home, if you see the videos, they don't have where to poop. They don't have where to shower. The clothes, like there was one woman that they showed for the past 3 years, the same clothes that when she left her village, that is what she's still wearing.
And somebody said we are not at war yet. Remember that guy from America, from UK? He said Nigeria is not at war yet. I said, okay, this is not war yet.
What kind of war are we even talking about? And according to that woman, her entire family, she doesn't know where they are. They've been killed. So she's in the IDP camp. If you see where they go to poop, children and adults and brand new babies, camp, like a camp.
Refugee camp. They should call it refugee camp.
Refugee camp. And we have a government.
We don't have government now. Don't go take us back there, please. We are moving forward.
Okay. Of course, we know we don't have government. And we don't even have any constitution anymore. Yeah. So for those that are thinking that we have constitution, no, we don't have constitution anymore. So Biko, please, $1.50 is all you need to contribute on a monthly basis for this. Just write us $20 and that should cover an entire year. So that this money can go a long way. And when I'm saying $20, I'm just telling for broke ass people like us. For those that are not broke, Biko, you can write more than that. $100, $150, $200, it will cover, it will help these people. So that's just my own little contribution. And Pastor Boston, we thank you so much. We want you to come here over and over, please. We are going to invite you more times because we also want to talk about those people living in the IDP. If you have direct contact with them, we can show their pictures and all that to help, spread this news to our people. Thank you so much. Thank you, sisters.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Bosun. We're happy. I've always been of the opinion that God's time is the best. That's my name. Oge Chukwukamma. That's what it means in Igbo land. So whenever I try to get something done and I feel like there's a resistance, I slow down. So, okay, maybe it's not that time. And then God has proven it again. We'll look for you. God said this is not the time. And at the time, he brought you up. And this is so remarkable because we know that, like we were saying before we started the show, that in the restoration project, we are about to descend. We have reached where we have reached and we are now about to land. And as you are about to land, you're distributing good things for the inhabitants of the land. And
Mm.
that's what we're going to see. Even in your project, you will begin
Mm.
to experience open doors. You
Amen.
begin to see
Amen.
a shift. There's going to be a shift because Nigerian
Amen.
Christians that are listening to us now understand where their problem came from.
Mm.
And now they want to begin to repossess their possession. They
Mm-hmm.
now
Mm.
understand that those geos and that whatever they say, they have evidence now. Go on our wall, you see the evidence. So now it's only a dead person that will still remain dead at the end of today's show. So we are
Mm.
moving, going to take our land. And as we take our land, like we told you people, what Ninas is doing for you to know that the blessing of God is upon what we are doing is that things will start turning. Things will start
Amen.
turning around.
Mm-hmm.
More
Amen.
job creation. People will come
Mm.
in because as we get stability and as we push out unrighteousness from our land, as we push out wickedness from our land, we repossess our possession. This
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm.
the true repossessing our possession. It's not the one
Mm.
that Gigio told you, because that one, he is the one possessing your position. Those leaders are possessing your possession.
Mm-hmm.
This is one that God said, we, the children of God, we have begun to repossess our land because it's God that planted us in the land where we are. We are
Mm.
indigenous there and we are claiming it for Christ. So
Mm.
we begin to push back, and that's what we're doing. We are pushing back now. And as we push back, you will see the glory of God manifest. More
Amen.
jobs will come. People, investors will come into our land. They will invest. Our land will be beautiful as the Lord intended it to be. Give the Lord
Amen.
a shout. Offering, the Lord is doing good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Next week, we'll see you again.
All right.
Okay, our people, we'll see you guys next week. We are so pleased. Please help to share this information. Like we said, it's well loaded. Education is power. Once we understand what the underlying issue is, then we will not be painting a faulty foundation. What we need to do is to knock out the house, take it all down from the roots, and start building a new one. So that's what we have
Mm.
done here today at this show, to show you guys where the faulty foundations are so that we can begin to
Mm.
identify them, deal with them
Mm.
accordingly, and we can get to our destination before we know it. So we
Mm.
appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. Help us to share, 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 share. We know that some people are throwing tantrum about what we are doing, but God has taken position. And again, if you're in our way, you will become part of the collateral damage for the tsunami that is coming. Have a good day.
Mm.